I want to go ahead and focus on this story culture, somewhat related to the Big Thunder redo that we had talked about before. But in this case, it's Frontierland as a whole. This story came out of Attractions magazine right here, this article. Disney Imagineers share 3 focuses for new Frontierland attractions at Magic Kingdom. This is by Blake Taylor, June 11, 2025. Frontierland and Magic Kingdom is dramatically changing, and Disney Imagineers have 3 key focuses for the makeover. And what are those key focuses? Well, we have at least 2 here. According to Imagineers, Frontierland's recent and upcoming attractions emphasize chasing your dreams and writing your own folktale. That's really, really interesting. Apparently, these are guiding principles for this entire project. I guess the third one's right here. Embrace a key creative focus. The setting isn't the story. What does this all mean? Well, let me go ahead and read a couple of paragraphs here. The Imagineers compared these points to the often publicized rubric, per se, for Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park. In developing new attractions for Animal Kingdom, Imagineers are guided by the 3 principles: the intrinsic value of nature, psychological transformation through adventure, and a personal call to action. Similar intentionality of language is at work in the points Imagineers shared about their focus for Frontierland's big picture vision. The values they shared aren't simply off-the-cuff goals. They are intentional strategic priorities for the project. As previously announced, Tom Sawyer's Island, Rivers of America, we get all that. I want to go ahead and scroll down right here to this point. In adapting Frontierland with IP familiar to today's audiences, Imagineers aren't just swapping out old characters with new faces, but also taking the opportunity to evolve what Frontierland means and the purpose it serves to the broader Magic Kingdom as a whole. Frontierland is probably the most distinctly American statement in the Magic Kingdom, wrote author Jeff Curdy, a tribute to the pioneer spirit that moves Americans westward from the 1700s to the 1880s. But what they're saying here is, instead of a Frontierland set between the 1770s and the 1880s, what we're going to do is, it's all about your frontier culture. It's all about carving, your road adventure, something or another. The theme or the setting, it's not nearly as important as your story. That's what they're saying here with these Imagineers in this piece right here. Culture, your initial thoughts about this particular aspect here?
Well, the idea of creating your own story sounds good. It's just never done well. They're wanting you to do your own version of your truth. I'm not going to be able to put myself anywhere but where this used to be. I don't care what attractions they come up with. None of this is going to be congruent. In fact, this is a exploration of incongruency. This whole area won't build a story. You can build your own story, but this is supposed to put you in the story. Theme parks are about theme. Theme parks are about the experience that you're having. The theme parks are, and you're having an experience in a place where everybody can see the same thing. So you certainly can, in environments like that, it's easier to place yourself in a setting because the setting is built around you. Right now, you're going to be introducing so many different visions and concepts and things that are not at all related to each other. I think they're creating an absolute visionary nightmare, and they know that they're doing that. We had a discussion, if you recall, I think last week in one of our Morning Magic shows, where they didn't bother to put up a scrim in an area where a scrim would replace the background and be permeable, so that you wouldn't create a hot box for people waiting in line for Haunted Mansion. I mean, there's a thousand better ways to do things that Disney doesn't do anymore. They do everything on the cheap rather than in the efforts to preserve show. This attraction, I can do better in thousands of other places. You can go to the mountains of Sedona. You can go on the Big Island and take a mud bug tour of the area where they shot Jurassic Park the first time. You can go to the falls of where they shot Jurassic Park. You can go to some of the swimming holes, in Jurassic Park, and you can swim in them. There's an experience, on the Big Island. They'll do all of that for you for about $125 a guest, and it's a whole day. So, unlike the 2-3 minutes of, a not very exhilarating, guided ride through simulated bumps. I'd rather go on this attraction.
Right.
So it's just there are so many, and look at this path you're walking on.
I know.
Look at this. It's going to be gone for no reason at all. And it's like, look, you aren't going to be able to recreate this experience. You're not going to be writing your own story in adjacent to Liberty Square. You aren't going to hear the cling, 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 cling sound of the Liberty Bell. You aren't going to hear the whoo, whoo every once in a while. None of this is going to happen. What are you going to hear? What are going to be the aesthetic sounds around you? Just remember that. The environments Disney used to build had to incorporate speakers all over the place, whether they be in garden beds or up on posts disguised as light posts, or banners even. What sounds are you going to get in this area? None of the ones you had before. At least not real ones. Nobody's going to be fooled. I don't want to be a wet blanket on everything, but right now it's a race to the bottom for Disney. Everything they're doing is quote unquote a necessary downgrade. And the guests have noticed. The attendance is down. Do you know why the money's not down? Because they're charging more and more for less and less.
Correct.
When we say stuff like that, we're not just, shooting the breeze. We're not just bashing on Disney to do that. I'd much rather be saying good things about Disney. I would never hit as hard on something that I didn't formerly, completely love with all my heart for most of my entire lifetime, except for the last 9 years. The last 9 years have been intensely bad in the degradation of the Disney parks.
Yeah.
Not to mention the things they produce on screen. Regardless, it is what it is. And I don't know that fighting against it's going to help, because nobody there has the ears open to listen. They don't listen to their guests. They're starting a villains area here in the same area or just behind it that they don't even have an idea for yet. We're going to announce something that's so vague in the concept art that we're going to solicit you for what you want to see. Behind when you are already starting to do it. That's dumb. That's like Disney's script practices now. Hey, we're halfway through shooting this movie, still don't have a completed script.
Yeah, we'll find it. We'll find it in the film or the edit room culture. And it's like, it is absolutely ridiculous. I want to go ahead and put this up on the screen real fast right here. There's some Walt and Ballin who actually summarized this article pretty well. Better than trying to hunt and peck for certain segments here. This from Walt.
Sorry, I went on a long time and went far afield. I apologize.
Oh no, you're fine. Look, I think you are sharing the frustrations that many have. In case you had a doubt over whether the intent of Frontierland's makeover was anything about, anything other than destruction, look no further. According to Imagineers, Frontierland's recent and upcoming attractions emphasize chasing your dreams, writing your own folktale, and the setting isn't the story. And that's the key thing right there. Frontierland transition the land away from its representation of a, quote, retreat into a mythical and romanticized version of the Great American West, and into emphasizing chasing your dreams and writing your own folktale. Just absolutely despicable. They don't want Walt's vision, and they don't want the American frontier. They just want their own meaningless nonsense, no connection to the past, no connection to the American heritage. Just keep hitting the dopamine hit after hit after hit. I will say, Walt Disney was very, very clear. He wanted Disneyland to be, it's in the opening day speech, a dedication to the hard facts that have created America. That's what Disneyland was all about. It was all about providing this kind of historical base that kids and young adults and even adults could either relive or experience for the first time. And that's what that was all about. It was all about engaging with your history and heritage, not unlike what we see with Cracker Barrel nowadays, and why everybody's upset over the retheme and reimagining of that concept right there. Disneyland was all about kind of where you came from and also where we're going. This is why Frontierland, Tomorrowland, they're set apart from each other right there. It is so important that the Americana nature of it stays, and I think it's what makes it an attraction worldwide. I think when people come from all over the world, they want to see that depicted, like you would if, let's say, if you were an American tourist going to Paris, you'd want to see the French culture, French cuisine, and French history. Similarly, with something like a living showcase like Disneyland or Magic Kingdom, stripping that away and making it IP land where you chase your own dreams is not consistent with that approach, obviously.
No. And again, this is a necessary downgrade, courtesy of the non-creative Disney. That's the problem we have across everything. They're creatively bankrupt in every aspect. They chased creativity out in favor of politics and messaging. And I'm telling you what, messaging is killing this company. And they know it. The recent admission to we lost the boys. Well, you're losing the boys in this area too. Imagination is very important to men. That's why they are very much about science fiction blended with, a fictional reality. They like logic. But they also like wondrous worlds, visually entertaining the night. Again, none of this, Disney doesn't do this anymore.
It's so true, and it really is heartbreaking. Time Stories Island was created, one of the only attractions in all of Disney's history to be created from Walt Disney's own hand. To remove the American spirit, the American frontier spirit in such a beloved theme park like Magic Kingdom, the most attended theme park in the world, is extremely heartbreaking. But to hear these, 3 points of emphasis from Imagineers is similarly disheartening.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.